Hello there, Michael. Thank you for your flexibility this afternoon.
Yeah, I had other things I had to do anyway, so I was able to move
Oh,
them.
good, good.
Thanks for the
So
advance
it works
notice.
best on both ends.
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I won't keep your afternoon waiting. I definitely wanted to circle back with you though, and learn a little bit more about your search. I know, you've applied to our senior structural opportunity, and you are currently sitting in California, right?
Correct.
Very good. And you're a little open to relocate for the right opportunity. It didn't sound like that was your first choice. So if you would, let me know, be 100% transparent on your search, that would be great. And then kind of talk to me a little bit about what you're looking for kind of in your next career company. And then I'll definitely dive into Pond and tell you a lot about us.
Okay, I'm looking into the next opportunity because my last contract, which was some military work, dried up. Basically, they lost the contract that they had for 20 years, and I cleaned up the messes, and it wasn't enough to for them to keep the contract, so they lost a contract they had for 20 years. So so I was laid off. The contract I worked for got canceled, so now I'm looking for another opportunity. So, leading a team of engineers to, design their structures, no matter what they are. So I've got the military experience, the government experience, which the last one was NASA Ames, which is our used to be an aerospace facility here, and now it's being turned into different uses now. So they're preserving the Air Force hangar, and they're currently USGS is going to move in there, and then a college is going to, the UC system, University of California, is going to put their campus in there. But that wasn't part of that contract, so that was a different contract. The contract I was in was retrofitting existing buildings. They had 50 buildings. A lot of them were built back when it was the civilian administration, before space was part of it.
Very good, very good. And so that is now wrapped up, right?
Correct.
Very good. And so you are currently finding yourself looking for, because was it a company using your company as a contract? Is that correct?
Yeah, and the company is just me.
Just you. Okay. Well, I wasn't. That's what my next question was. Are you with other engineers, or is it just solo? You solo.
Just me solo.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And then let's just talk a little bit about before that. You were with the city of Austin.
Yep, back in 09 to 11, and that happened because the Great Recession laid off tons of people. I was laid off. The company I worked for was basically shut down. They didn't keep the work, so they they went out of business. And they were sued for wage theft. After I left, they were sued for wage theft.
Right. So, and then that's when you kind of created your own, decided to do just some federal contract work.
It's actually a bunch of different things. So I do plan review. I design buildings. It's whatever design bridges, whatever people ask me to do. So I've just got the broad range of experience that I've accumulated over the years.
Got it. Do you have any industrial experience, Michael, within those projects?
Let's see. Most of mine has been, at the very beginning when I started my career many years ago, it was designing tanks for the paper industry, and then the paper industry collapsed.
Yeah.
And then the closest I have to industrial, this last one was the NASA contract I was working on. They were, installing new equipment and bracing pipes. Here in California, we have a lot of seismic activity, so those have to be braced. When they were built, that wasn't thought of yet. Seismic forces were very low compared to what they are now. So, codes have evolved in the past. When that was built, facility was built back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, so it's come a long way.
Right, right. And with the NASA contract, you were saying that you were installing piping in what type of facility?
They were existing buildings. Some of them were outside. You know, there was one that was by a wind tunnel. Another one was installing equipment on the roof, big pieces of equipment. Some of the buildings at NASA, believe it or not, were made of wood. And then there was one they retrofitted a piece for USG, which now USGS is going to move in there. You know, I don't know if you know what that is. You know, U.S. Geological Survey, which it used to be down the road where Facebook Meta is, and now they're going to move into the federal facility, you know, because NASA Ames has major security.
Yeah, very good.
And Google's in there, too.
Oh, Google's there, too?
Yep, Google has some buildings in there. Yeah, they work with NASA. You know, they, you know, like some of the CEOs land their planes there, so, because it's right
very
close
good.
to the headquarters.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So tell me a little bit about, you know, what kind of comes, I mean, why Pond? I mean, obviously we do a broad amount of projects, right? Anything else that kind of attracted you to Pond, Michael?
A long time ago, you got, Pond did some federal facilities, so I'm very familiar with that, you know. Years ago, you know, they did a JBLM. I don't know if you're familiar with those initials. It's a military base in the Seattle area, just south of Seattle. So that's how I know of them. And there was a presentation, and one of the questions I asked is, you know, because Washington's very tough on their licenses, and I was really surprised. I learned this. All you need is a PE license in any state to do work there. You know, whereas Washington State, you have to have the SE license for some of their. I'd say a third or a quarter of their buildings because they, you know, we have the big earthquakes, just like California. It's a real hard license to get, you know.
Yeah.
And seismic's its own animal.
Yeah, I bet. Very good. No, very good. What, tell me if you can, a little bit about, you know, I mean, I see kind of some of your projects have been hospitals, things of that nature. I know that that's the stuff that our team works on here as well.
Yep, it's actually a whole bunch of different types. On the top, on the resume, there's a link. You can click on the link. It should take you to my website. Did you go to that?
The work portfolio?
Yeah, that, and then at the top, you click down on it, and there's different. I've sorted it out by different types. So, for example, bridges would be a type. Here in California, retrofits would be a type because we have a lot of those in California because a lot of owners don't want to tear buildings down, you know, or sell them to get rid of them, so you prefer to keep them. Years ago in San Francisco, we had a soft story boom, which basically they were requiring all landlords and property owners to retrofit the bottom of their apartment buildings so they don't collapse in earthquakes.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of them, you know, a lot of companies popped up, and I was one of the top ones. I worked with a contractor, and the reason mine were at the top is because what happened at that time, anybody with a professional engineering license was trying to do the work, and the city of San Francisco was finding out was the people that were doing the work they felt shouldn't be doing the work.
Yeah.
Because they were screwing it up really badly. They had no concept of structural engineering concepts, which they should, you know. Because in California, and the way the laws are written, anybody can be a civil engineer can design anything, certain building types, like the soft story retrofits. And what happened was when my contractor I was working with submitted my plans, the city was able to review them over the counter, which is, in San Francisco, it's impossible to do. Get a approval or minimal comments over the counter.
Perfect. Can you hear me, Michael?
I can hear you fine. What happened yesterday was I was in a valley.
Connected, sorry.
That's okay. I was in a valley yesterday, so I was driving on 101, which is in Sonoma County, which is the winery area. It's in a valley.
Yeah.
So that's what you were hearing was the wind. That's why I couldn't hear you yesterday, and I didn't want to pull off because I was... Sonoma County here in California is famous for not only wineries, but the Charles Schulz Museum. You know, Snoopy, Charlie Brown.
Oh, funny.
Yep. He...
I was just there in Sonoma, I think, and we were also in, oh my gosh, I was just there in...
Napa?
November, yes. in Napa. It started with a C. Oh,
Calistoga.
Calistoga. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's a small town. I bring my dog. I have a little dog poodle. I bring her all the time. St. Helena's a good one too. You probably pass through it. That's another one that's real popular. It's got it's a nice little downtown. It's real popular.
Yeah. So the biggest thing that we are growing and looking for right now, Michael, is obviously a senior structural.
Yep.
We would like them on the East Coast. We definitely have several senior structural engineers kind of on our West Coast covered. We've probably got 4 at this point, 4 to 5. So we are looking for a senior that would be definitely kind of remote to the Atlanta market, from the East Coast on the East time, would be our biggest choice, obviously. But for someone that is going to definitely be able to lead projects, have their expertise in that, Department of Defense. We do a lot of private development. We do oil and gas. We do a lot of industrial projects. That was why I was asking you a little bit about your industrial experience. We do a ton of medical device manufacturing and cold food storage plants.
Yep.
We do distribution warehouses. We have a lot of big clients that, we are currently, really engaged with. We probably have work backlogged, for the next 28 months.
Yep, I have a question about your San Diego office. What's going on with that office? Are they doing work with, I'm trying to remember the name of Camp Pendleton, which is the big Marine base down there, and there's also 2 or 3 other ones. You've probably seen the movie Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Air Force bases. They were filmed in San Diego.
You're asking me if we do work there?
Yeah, because I saw the office. I just didn't know if it was, local to that area, and I just have never heard of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we definitely have a small office there, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Michael, we've done work across the nation on every military base we have for the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army.
Yep. Have you done in Whidbey Island?
Sorry?
Have you done Whidbey Island?
I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah, yes. That's Washington State Air Force Base. It was in Top Gun.
Yes, got it.
So that's why and I'm familiar with it. I've driven by it. When I lived in Seattle, I would drive by it. It's a lot of nice hiking places over there. So you kind of go up north, and then you also take a ferry to go, an auto ferry, an auto ferry to take your car over, or you can drive up and then drive down.
Got it. No, that's great. But no, we are a federal defense group. I mean, they do a ton of military base work, whether it's reoccurring maintenance or if it's new builds from ground up. I know our big group project right now is on the Pacific Ocean. It's probably going to last about 3 to 5 years, actually.
Yeah, which base is it, or... Which base is it? Because we have a lot of them on the Pacific Ocean when you say bases. So we also have, I don't know if you've heard of Vandenberg.
Vandenberg, yes.
Yeah, that's the one. That's where the Space Force is. That's on the way. I know where that one is. So I've driven by it on the way to Santa Barbara. It's where Highway 1, which is Pacific Coast Highway, goes through it. So.
Oh, okay. No, we definitely are doing projects out there. Our energy group, they do a ton of oil, gas, solar, fuel projects for the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. We also have commercial clients as well. A lot of our energy projects are based out of Houston.
Yep.
We have 2 offices out of there. We have a big energy team here in Atlanta. And I talked to you a little bit about our industrial group. That is probably our biggest growing vertical that we have right now. And then we do have our environmental group and our aviation and transportation, where we do a ton of, DOT work here in Georgia and Florida. Also, we have, airports across the Southeast that we do projects with as well. So our company, probably about a little shy of 800 folks right now in about 18 different offices. Pretty much saturated here in the Southeast. But like I said, we do have the Houston, New Orleans, and the California and the Colorado offices in Hawaii.
Yep.
And industrial is definitely our most, our biggest growth vertical at this point. Our federal defense obviously is our steady Eddie. They're always going to have business. They're always going to be bringing in business. That's what we're known for. And I would just want to know kind of what your timeline is, Michael. Obviously you are going to, you lost that contract, right? So
yeah.
Are you doing any project wrap up or anything at this point?
Yeah, I'm working on one project. I'm trying to get it wrapped up, and now here's what happened. It was a project for, in California, we have unreinforced masonry buildings, which in earthquakes are not good. And it was fully designed in 2020, and then during the pandemic, the contractor I was working with passed away.
Oh, no.
So he was originally, the original plan for me was to design more retrofits with him, have him get more of them. And then he passed away. And then his widow sold the building to a new owner. And they're trying to get that updated, basically, because they're trying to get a FEMA grant to fix it. And it's the city of Berkeley a long time ago passed laws that require all the URMs to be retrofitted. This is the last one on the list.
Got it.
So I'm trying to get that wrapped up with him. And, I've been working on that. I've been working on night school too, and I'm getting interviewed by a lot of companies. So I've been pretty busy. And then this last weekend, I took a little trip, my dog and I went to the Redwoods in way northern California. So
Very
the pool
fun.
you see on the
Where is
picture,
Redwood?
Yeah, the pool you see in the picture, that's mine. And then, we traveled, did a little bit of that. We went to Mendocino. We saw the Jessica Fletcher house. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I am.
Murder, She Wrote was a TV show in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
It's not filmed in Maine. It's filmed in Mendocino, here in Northern California. And then the other community is Fort Bragg, which is, you see the harbor. That's where it was filmed.
Okay.
And the house is a tourist site. People come all over the world to go see it. And it's a real tiny town, a lot of gourmet food and stuff. Parks, it's on the water, it's real popular.
Okay, very good.
So it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Sonoma.
Okay.
Where you were, You said you were in Sonoma itself, or were you in Santa Rosa?
I think I was in Santa Rosa.
Okay, yeah, that's the Schultz Museum. Yeah, if you go up north, the north end of it, you keep going up 101 and then cut across to, I think it's Route 20, and go through Ukiah and Willitus.
Got it. So do you do a bunch of the wineries?
I don't know. I can't do it with a dog because dogs can't be near grapes.
Oh, that's true. That would
it
be
kills
a bad
them.
idea.
That would be a very bad idea. So what I do is a lot of the hiking trails and stuff. So,
Okay.
I don't do it often. Like, if it's really hot, I refuse to do it. If it's hot, I don't take my dog because 80 degrees outside, if you walk them, a dog, and it's on pavement or something, it burns their feet.
Yes,
So
it does. It always makes me crazy here in Atlanta, Michael, when it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I see my crazy neighbors walking their dogs. I'm like, it is July, it's 98 degrees, and you're walking your dog at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, that's not a good thing to do. And I was told by the vet to not do that. They have special shoes for the dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
And, the other thing I do is, I'm lucky because we're close to the coast, so when it gets really hot here, I don't stay in my house. I go to the coast because it's like 20, 30 degrees cooler.
I bet, yeah.
And then the dog can run around as much as she wants, and I don't have to worry about it, And there's one town, it's called Half Moon Bay, which you probably heard of Mavericks, the ski surfboard competition, that's there. And a lot of people from Fresno, which is in the Central Valley, where it's like 100 plus all the time, come, when it's hot, because it's cool and they don't have to turn on an air conditioner. They would rather, go out and do stuff. And so, let's see. Let's get back to the position here. How soon are they looking to fill the position?
Sorry?
How soon are they, what's the timeline for you filling this position? And
Yeah, well, we're just kind of getting our search on, right? We actually have a senior a structural engineer here in our home office that has been with the company for a long time, and he is actually getting ready to depart, and he's going to start, he's going to move back to Costa Rica and help with his family business. So he has a really great opportunity right now, and we're going to really hate to see him go. So we have we have some time, but we would really like to get someone in place so they could be kind of mentored under him. And I think that, that's all going to happen probably at the 1st of August.
Yep.
To the end of August. So, as soon as we find the right candidate, we're definitely going to make a move.
Yep, and I'm trying to figure out if this is because you're going to have, like, more work is coming in, because some firms staff up for, they get a big project, and others, they staff up and then they don't get the work. I've seen that happen a few times, So I wanted to see what your status is, and also thank you for telling me about the type of work. That's really good, because I don't want it to be one of these fringe jobs, like, I'll give you an example. When I first started working, I designed tanks for the paper industry. Then in 2000, the paper industry collapsed, and then the mining industry collapsed because people, I don't know if you remember the Y2K
Oh, yeah,
thing?
I remember.
Okay. On my end, we saw a lot of mining for gold, because the gold was used in the monitors, or else you'd be getting radiation sickness.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot of the gold mining, and then after, towards the end of 2000, that work dried up. And then also what happened, with the paper industry, they made the technology so good, so in the old days, they would have 8 paper machines to make paper, okay? Now they can do all the same amount with 1 or 2 lines of equipment, instead of 8.
Right. Instead of 8, right.
And then also you got the market forces where paper was just cheaper to go to Asia, to make than in the United States. And some of the work that I designed, a lot of it's torn down.
Right.
Now, I put it up on the website, but I haven't put whether it's demolished or not, because I can't find it. One of them was used to be a company called Bowater. I don't know what it's called now. I've lost track, because paper companies have bought up everybody,
Yeah.
And Bowater, the plant that I designed the tankage for, it shut down, in Calhoun, which used to make the paper for the, all the phone books.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That was the big thing before they went electronic, And the other thing that's happening now is a lot of newspapers don't have paper machines anymore. Their own, they used to, but they don't anymore. Now they're all centralized. So I'll give you an example. Like when I was in Austin, they moved the printing press to Houston. So now all the paper, newsprint and stuff, when they make the paper, edit it and stuff, that's all electronic now. And then it gets transmitted to Houston electronically, and then they get printed. And it's also, they don't make money on the print. Here where I am, a daily newspaper is $2. Whereas if you subscribe electronically, it's $15 a month.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Definitely. No, our industrial group, they definitely do more like medical device, big pharma projects, sterilization. They do, like I said, the food, the cold, food plant, buildings and the distribution warehouses. You can imagine, going through the pandemic, now everybody wants things delivered, right? So you can only imagine how that increased over the years.
Well, food, in my opinion, and I'm going to say this, food is always going to be booming no matter what, because people still have to eat. The same with, pharmaceuticals.
Absolutely.
People are still going to have those. You're still
going to need to eat, for sure.
Yeah, and believe it or not, that during the Great Recession, I had a friend of mine, his wife, well, she passed away, but she worked for one of the cosmetic companies, and during the Great Recession, the cosmetic companies were booming. Because people wanted to stay home and look good.
Yeah, right.
They didn't want to go out and buy stuff.
Yeah, just send it to me. Very good. No,
okay.
I mean, there are definitely some pulp and paper projects that we've looked at that we might dip into a little bit in the future, but right now in our industrial group, that's kind of what we do. Now, what's really unique with this role, Michael, is this would be kind of permanently placed in our professional design team. And what our professional design team does, Michael, is it's kind of a foundation group, right? Like your fundamental marketing and finance and HR, it's a foundation team that supports all of our verticals. So what I think is pretty unique about this team and this role is that you would be, all of our structural engineers in this group, they support all of the projects across the company. So there are going to be times when you might be diving into a heavy federal project that you're working on for 6 months, and then you might change over to industrial. Industrial might be heavy right now, so they're going to put you on that. You're going to be kind of jumping into an energy project and working with that vertical. So you're going to get a lot of diverse, broad projects that you're not just doing cookie cutter things over and over, right? Now, in this group, we do have specialists, right? Our seniors do support a certain vertical, very much like I do. As a senior talent acquisition partner, I recruit for industrial and I recruit for professional design. Those are my 2 units that I support, right? And my other co-partners, they work in federal and they work in energy, and we have a recruiter for just architects. We have a recruiter for just construction, because Pond has its own construction team as well that only works on Pond projects. So this professional design group, Michael, is very much like that. You're going to have a senior structural that is kind of assigned to one of our verticals that is kind of like the industrial expertise. And this is kind of where our position is going to open up if we find someone that's got, really comfortable and it's got a lot of industrial expertise. I'm not saying that they have to, but it's kind of nice if you are familiar with that, with those projects.
Yeah. Yes.
But the fact that you are heavily into the federal realm is nice as well.
Yeah, I've done actually a lot of different types, so I'm very familiar with a lot of them. For me, it's wherever the work is, basically, because you can't rely on what I learned over time. You can't rely on one business sector; it's not going to work.
That's right. That's that's one thing that I love about our company, Michael, is coming from a company that I got furloughed over during the pandemic. I worked for the airline business.
Yep.
I did recruiting for airports. So I had about 100 that I supported over the nation, and worked with them for 6 years, and it was thriving, right? It was thriving. December, we were up 30%, and then the next February, we were all like that was when COVID hit, and like the airports just shut down, right?
Yep.
So it's nice to be with Pond it's a multi-industry company. It has many different ways of doing business with our federal group and our energy group and our industrial group and our transportation and our architecture. So there's many different ways that we're always bringing in money and bringing in projects. You're going to see it, in 2021 or 22, we saw the energy vertical come to a halt. It was thriving, and all of a sudden it was like, no, we were hiring up about 60 folks, and all of a sudden, energy stopped in the States. So we watched that come to a halt. But as soon as that happened, our industrial vertical piked. So there's a lot of ebbs and flows, right? But we've always got one industry that's carrying that softer one that's slow at the point. So that's what I love about our company.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, well, after this interview today, what happens? Is there going to be another group interview?
So what I'm going to do, Michael, is I'm going to take your information, your resume, your bio, the things that you and I've talked about today, and I'm going to send that over to the team there in professional design. The director of structural engineering, his name's Rod New. He's actually a Sonoma guy himself, I think. So he's from California. and he'll review all of the information, and then he'll let me know when he has some open availability to jump on a Teams virtual call with you, with maybe some of his teammates, and they'll talk business. They'll talk about the projects that they do and what they're looking for, and kind of how they view PON and what they see, and they'll kind of go over your projects. I'll definitely share the link that you shared with me, and we'll kind of go from there. Do you have any certain availability over the next maybe 5 or 7 days?
Could you send me what you would like to request? Because I get calls all the time. So this week, I'm going to check my calendar this week, to let you know, because tomorrow I'm gone out of the area. And then, see, Thursday, let me open up the calendar, because I just learned that I didn't turn on the sync. So what I do is I check it on my phone, and I forgot to turn it on when the 5G's turned on.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't syncing. I kept thinking it was a glitch. It wasn't. It was I didn't turn on the... So let me check. Let's see. Thursday I have availability, so, let's see. This is going to be on Eastern Standard Time?
Yes.
Okay, so for him, if he can do a 3 or 4 o'clock Thursday, that'll work.
Okay.
That's your time, not mine, which would be 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock my time.
Right. And then Friday? Anything Friday?
Let me check. I'm wide open Friday.
Wide open. Okay, that's great. A lot of times Friday tends to be a good day for them to kind of settle in and just talk to folks. They kind of try to wrap up and have an easier day on Friday. And then if you don't mind, Michael, tell me a little bit about your salary expectation. Do you have a comfortable salary range that you're liking to stay in?
Yeah, let's see. Here in California, it's a little different, because we have high salaries here. And then, I was thinking in the 170s, but I want to get the idea for Atlanta. Because I haven't done the research on it. I was more concerned about learning about the opportunity first. To me, that's more important, because it's pointless to research a salary if, you don't like the job.
Absolutely. No, that's 100%. And so, did you give me a range? I'm sorry.
I said the 170, 180s,
your phone is kind of going in and out right now, so I'm missing some of your words.
Okay, 170 to 180s.
Okay.
I'm negotiable because I want to see what other benefits there are as well.
Yeah.
That's important as well, because you could get a good salary, but if the healthcare is costing you an arm and a leg,
you're eating it all up, right?
Yeah, it does you no good. I worked for a company a long time ago that did that.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing we were talking about airlines. The other thing why the airlines are falling right now is because I don't know if you've been following what's been going on with Boeing.
Yes.
You heard about, they're in big trouble. John Oliver made fun of them, and then the other part was the door blowing off the airplane.
Yeah.
And SNL made fun of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, big trouble there.
Well, the city of Everett's not happy. That's in Washington State.
Yeah.
They're pissed off because it's going to hurt their tax revenues, because a lot of people work at Boeing in Everett, Washington. Yeah. Everett, Washington's also the home of Funko. They make the little figures.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where they're based. That's the headquarters.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, Boeing's the 800-pound gorilla of Everett. And it's a nice town. It's got nice water views. I liked it. My dog liked it too, going on the trails and stuff,
Very good. Very good. Well, listen, I do have to jump onto another call right now, but I have enjoyed our conversation. I definitely have all the information that I need, and Michael, I will get back to you as soon as I hear back from the hiring manager, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that was Miss Vicki Dominic. The phone number it's a 470 area code. The number is 470-701-3258. And that's that.